We have got heart. Now we're playing for a ready for the show. So then give me virtual meeting. Hello, this is John Chen, your host for the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. If you're watching now live here on social media, make sure and do us a favor. Subscribe, share, like, or comment. And if you make a question here live on the program, hey, we might actually even answer it. If you want all the episodes of the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast, over 175 episodes, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. And a new episode at Wednesday at noon shows up every single week. And if you want to learn how to be more engaging in the world, come check out my retreat. All right. Every October, this year will be October 20 through the 22nd, live here, virtual, anywhere you got a click, or you can come here in Seattle and experience it live for yourself in our most advanced hybrid studio. Yeah, I just got back from a 24-day road trip, and I got a chance to go to Austin, New Orleans or Nolans to get it right, Portland, Oregon, Las Vegas, and then actually producing a program back here in Seattle. And what are all the things that have in common about touring and what's going on right now? What's amazing is the work is very different, right? It's a different producing, speaking, and emceeing are still the top threes going on. And what's amazing is that engagement is still a top piece that people want and desire no matter where they're going at. And so I'm excited for this next guest too. I got a chance to meet in person at Kelly's house in Vancouver, BC. So shout out to Kelly and my friend Jacques Martiquette, who's I think believed and invited me to that party. Our next speaker here and guest on the podcast, he's a founder and chief innovation officer at TetraNoodle Technologies. It's an elite AI engineering company. So this ought to be a great conversation. He served clients like former employers, Microsoft, IBM, Pearson Education, and he's touched at least 10 million lives and generated over $500 million in value through his expertise in technology and AI. He self-admittedly has dealt with mental health challenges and has found that meditation is his way to help. He has 4 patents in AI and has authored 2 books on technology. Let's welcome our next guest, Manuj Aggarwal.
Thank you. Wow,
Hey,
what an intro. Thank you.
you're welcome, Manuj. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Tell us something good that has happened in maybe the last 2 weeks or so.
Um, I think I took a road trip as well, not as elaborate as you. It was just in the interior of BC for a couple of days. That was quite relaxing. There were some fires going on, but not
Oh,
as
right.
bad as yeah.
We had a little bit of smoke. I somehow or another avoided the smoke, but last week for sure, all my Seattle friends said, get a filter or get a mask or stay inside. All right, Manoj. A
Yeah.
few of my friends don't know you like I know you, so why don't you just take this time to introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do in the world?
Yeah, my background is technology. Grew up in India, came to North America in 1998. I started in the dot-com boom era, got into technology. It was a lot of fun, just like today. A lot of things happening in AI. Back then, a lot of things were happening with just the general internet and web applications. But then dot-com bust happened in 2001. I got laid off like 4 times in few years. And so that forced me into entrepreneurship, started my own company, started helping other startups build their products. Then large corporations like Microsoft and IBM and T-Mobile started working with AI in 2005. And then, as you mentioned, had some challenges with mental health around 2012. And then it sort of, I found relief in meditation. And then it almost became like a passion to create a technology that can help people calm their mind, similar to meditation. So almost like a digital meditation, because a lot of people said to me that, oh, I cannot meditate because I don't have time or my mind cannot sit still. So those learnings are what we do now. Basically, we create a private, personalized, and secure AI platform for individuals, teams, or organizations that obviously gives them the power of intelligence, but in the background also optimizes how they think, optimizes their mental health, optimizes their brain health, etc.
Now, how does it do that, right? The AI could do a lot of different things around this. So, Manoj, I'm just curious about what approach, like, give me an example. If I was one of your clients, what's a win?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, a few things control how we show up in the world, how we feel. One is finding your purpose, your why. Anything that you do, you need to find your why. And in individuals, people are not aware of why they are doing what they are doing. Generally, they just chase money, which is not bad, but they don't know what are they chasing, why are they chasing that. That's one thing. In organizations, people write mission statements and vision statements, but even the CEO doesn't actually remember those on everyday basis, let alone the employees. So when you're making decisions, it's a complex world. How do you remember what your why is? How do you remember, why you are doing all these things? Whether you're making a decision in line with these higher level human traits. And then the next thing comes your identity. How do you see yourself? How much confidence you have in what you are doing, what you are selling, what you are consuming, all of these things. And then many other human attributes like how do you build relationships? How do you build community? How do you overcome challenges? How do you, cultivate your creativity? So these things are human traits, but AI platforms today, they are very much logical. They are only going to give you solutions to
Hmm.
logical problems. Now, a lot of people are using these platforms as so-called friends or therapists, which is disastrous because these platforms are designed to make you feel good. They're not going to question you ever. They are just going to um, blindly kind of encourage you to do whatever thoughts are coming to your mind. So if you follow them, you will never actually encounter any friction and grow out of it. So what we do is think of it like in a private AI environment, we actually bake all these things into the AI so that when you're interacting with the AI, it will actually question you if you are deviating from your purpose, if you're deviating from building community, if you're deviating from being creative to find a solution or these type of things. So it's baked into the AI. So as you're interacting with it, behind the scenes, it's not only helping you do your work, but
Hmm.
also elevating you.
So, private AI, meaning it's a little bit like a, let's see if I get it right, as some version of Chat GPT, but that maybe doesn't connect to the outside world, customized to you somehow. Is that right?
Absolutely, you got it right. Yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
And I see you have this assessment score, right? That you can give people this score. And here are one of the facts before you go. Doubt unexamined compounds for decades. 70% of professionals report imposter feelings. 28% report higher performance if they have a strong belief in their own capacity. So it sounds
Mhm.
like you just did a lot of research too to this model. Does that sound about right?
About 30 years of research. Life teaches you a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
But last 6 to 7 years have been read really deep research into the mind. As I said, my own challenges with mental health, it was a blessing in disguise because it kind of like forced me into looking
Mhm.
inside how we create our own reality.
Can you share a little bit more about that? Like what was the moment you realized maybe you had a problem? It's more than just a down day. It was something like a bigger problem, Manish.
Well, there was one day when things happened in life as they do, and then I just didn't feel the urge. Like I just felt so tired of life. And I said, okay, I don't know if I want to be here. And I called a suicide helpline. That was the day I realized, oh, you know what? Like now I think I truly need some solution here. Um, and the conventional ways, like I went to therapists, I went to counselors. They sort of asked me similar questions that they asked, but it didn't really move the needle for me. It didn't really provide me any relief, right?
All right. Just
So
talk,
so
talk, talk, right?
meditation,
Yeah.
yeah. So meditation, like somebody said, hey, try meditation. I was like, I mean, I've tried everything. Like how does just sitting quiet is going to help me? Even though I come from the land of meditation, I grew up in India, so
Right.
you know. But then I said, okay, I have nothing else to lose. I really need to find a solution, and that's sort of how it all happened.
Okay, so do you mind sharing a moment too? So I got a chance to meet with Kundalini expert Gacharan Singh Khalsa. He was the second under Yogi Bhajan at the time, and he was one who really kind of says, meditation is the one thing that actually gives you time back, even though you invest time into it. If you do it right, you should give you time back. And the second thing he helped me realize was that I was doing a walking meditation. He actually invented something called breath walk, which is a version of Kundalini walking meditation. And the fact that I zoned out enough that I couldn't realize that something was around my peripheral or, that I was focused enough like that. He was telling me that was the moment that he goes, no, you have achieved one of the states inside of meditation. So I'm kind of curious, well, what was your early experience when you realized this is going to help me as opposed to I'm not just sitting around breathing?
Yeah, I mean, similar moments. I practice under a shaman who has been practicing meditation for 2 decades.
Yeah.
And there were moments where I looked inside the mind as if I'm an outside observer and see what was happening in my mind.
Hmm.
And I had these kind of flashes of certain events happening in my life, which kind of like influenced my decisions downstream, and then those decisions influenced the outcomes downstream, and so on and so forth. So I was able to kind of like put together this chain of events that started with certain situations where I did not take the right decision for my long-term well-being.
Hmm.
And once I started seeing that, I understood that instead of blaming any outside environment, any situation, any person for my situation, I needed to take complete ownership and responsibility
Yeah.
so that I can control the outcomes.
Oh, interesting. All right. Let's get to your AI side again to tier two. So I just recently came from the National Speakers Association's Influence Conference, and while there's lots of AI talk happening, one of the things I thought that was a unique theme that came out is multiple speakers came out and said, AI will never replace our job as keynote speakers. Especially when it's not to deliver content, but it's to create experiences and emotions. The other metaphor that I saw was kind of like a chef, right? A um, a line cook with a tool will create more line cook food, but a Michelin star chef with AI, right, with another tool can actually create, even more elevated food. So I'm just curious about your personal view on AI, what it can and what it can't do after your current experience.
Well, you're absolutely right in everything that you said. The fundamental truth is AI is like a op open pit gold mine with almost infinite amount of intelligence, wealth, resources. So imagine when humans went from hunter-gatherers to agricultural society. Imagine the first person who kind of, threw some seeds on the ground and said, okay, let's just wait for
Right.
6 months and there's going to be enormous amount of food
Agricultural,
available.
right, as a
Yeah.
technology. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then people would have said, "What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Like I need to go find a rabbit today," and which is valid, which is
Yeah.
their valid concern as well, right? But if you just take a moment and utilize this technology, whatever you are seeking, you can get like tenfold, hundredfold, thousandfold. Now the thing is that a lot of people are looking at AI and saying, what do I do today that I can automate and get
Yeah.
my time back?
Yeah.
But that is like saying, okay, I'm going to buy a Formula One car and I'm going to see how it can walk at the same pace as I can walk today.
Okay.
Okay. So what
Not what
my
it
point
it
is,
does. Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So my point is, people are not thinking beyond what they can think today. So
Yes.
the idea is that if you truly want to utilize AI, you need to elevate your own thinking. So even if you are a line chef, as you mentioned, literally the possibility today is within a few weeks, you can have enough knowledge and information that you can actually become a Michelin star chef, which was not possible
Hmm.
before this technology. But you see, the limitation is your own mind. Are you able to think that big? Are you able to go beyond what you think is possible for you, for the world, for the community around you? So the idea is that this gold mine, if you just find a speck of gold and you say, wow, like my life is made now, I am rich, I don't need anything else, then you will get that. But if
Mhm.
you say, oh, wow, there is tons and tons of gold in this, let me dig deeper, then you will find that as well. So it's all up to you. How do you want to utilize this technology? The potential is enormous, but it's based on your own limitations that you put on your mind.
Well, speaking of limitations, my mic decided to have a limitation. All right. So Manoj, what's a tangible AI tip, right? So like you have stuff that's further off. You're talking about the future. But again, people are looking for today. So I'm looking for a rabbit, right? I'm looking for my latest one that I got from a guy named David Litvin is don't have AI answer your question. Have AI write the prompt to write your question. So my big tip right now is to write these bigger prompts because when you get bigger prompts, you usually get better results. And then the secret is I actually have a button now that says run that prompt or run this prompt. I'm curious about for you, what is like your day to day or what's something, if you had a brand new AI person, you're trying to convince them to use it, what do you do?
Yeah, so I will say one thing. Look at a concept called ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept. It asks four questions. What do you love doing? What does the world need? What are you good at? And what can the world pay you for? Answer those four questions, and anytime you talk to AI, put that in as your first information about yourself to AI. And what that will do is anything that you from that point onwards talk to AI about, it will actually try to align it with your purpose, with your ikigai. And that one step could truly change the direction of your life in a few weeks. And I'm not kidding.
So are you saying you practicing Ikigai? I've seen the book. I don't know if you've taken training or something, but you're saying you implement this as a daily practice.
Yeah, see, that's the power of technology. The mind doesn't remember the daily practices. Life is so busy and all of that. But when you bake it into technology, you are just having conversations, and behind the scenes, it's kind of like nudging you towards your ikigai, and that's how it becomes your daily practice.
All right. Is there other philosophies or other things you're following too? I know there's a lot of systems. Like I actually am listening to Mel Robbins' podcast or audiobook about Let Them. Have you heard about Mel Robbins' Let Them?
Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Things like
So,
that. Yeah.
yeah, similar concept. So, again, once you find your purpose and you're making decisions aligned with your purpose, something strange happens. Your body actually feels comfortable, even if it's risky, even if you're not very kind of like sure about what to do. If it is aligned with your true purpose, you will actually come to a state of point where you will say, let them, meaning whatever other people say, let them do it because you know that you're living your purpose. So that's one thing. Secondly, it's also shaping your identity. Like, how do you show up? So, a lot of people I talk to, they say, oh, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be this and that. But when they look inside them, inside their own mind,
Yeah.
They are very poor. They are
Yeah.
not like if I ask them, okay, do you think today, right now, you deserve $1 billion? They're like, no. Um, okay,
Ta-da. Right.
when do
Yeah.
you think you will become worthy of that? Well, when I have $1 billion, right? So the thing is,
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
the yeah, it doesn't work that way because the world doesn't give you what you want. The world gives you who you think you are inside.
Hmm.
And so shaping these identities. So this concept of let them is very similar, or everybody has different philosophies. This is mine. Once you find your purpose, once you shape your identity, then let them becomes kind of like your default mode of operation.
Yeah, just and so for those who haven't listened to this, that it was just saying for all the things that people do to bug you, right? You just at some point, Mel Robbins discovered this thing, and she said it was around prom. It was around her son's prom. It's just like let them, right? If the kids want to get wet, right? Let them. Like instead of they were trying to plan that these 20 kids had no reservation for their prom night, and that sometimes kids work like that, and sometimes it leads them to their best experience. You don't know, but the whole point is that stop trying to control it and let people, if they have an idea of the way they want to do things, let them. And even if it turns out to be a mistake, at least it's their mistake and not your mistake. So, yeah, I find that interesting. Well, let's move to a slightly different topic. Um, how do you best engage with AI? Lots of people, of course, are recommending now too, turning on the voice and having chats or having chats all the time. Having a conversation with AI can be very, very valuable, especially for it to learn more about you, your own model. What are the different ways, Manoj, that you engage with AI that you can share?
Yeah. So, what generally I do is I do both voice and text, but most importantly, I first of all try to get clarity on what is it that I want to achieve. And I do it in like chunks of 90 days rather than like a 5 year plan, or even 1 year plan. So next 90 days, what do I want to achieve? And then just work with my AI to say, okay, help me make a plan for the next 90 days aligned with my purpose that elevates my identity to that version of 90 days that I want to become. And then be just open and honest. That's one thing I will say to people, that when they have a conversation, generally human beings have a tendency to showcase their best self.
Yeah.
And the more that you kind of praise yourself, the more AI is going to reflect it back to the point that you, and I have met some people, they have delusions of being the chosen one or the messiah or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So my advice will be, no matter how you use this technology, be honest, share your flaws even more than you share your own qualities,
Mm.
so that AI can actually, because the thing is, the good thing about this thing is it's not going to judge you. So you can be open and honest about it, and then say, hey, help me get what I want in life in spite of these drawbacks or shortcomings I have, and it will actually help you to get there rather than kind of hiding them and just like sweeping them under the rug. Those
What's the
those
most
shortcomings.
What's the most surprising AI answer you received that you weren't expecting?
Um, it actually guided me to work less. You know.
Oh, say more.
Um, Well, so since the dawn of time, as I said, like it was hunter-gatherers and then industrialization, like a whole bunch of things that happened, we have been ingrained, it has been ingrained in us that hard work is going to pay off, which is absolutely true. Like, because
Yeah.
time and intelligence is what produced value in the world, right?
Mhm.
So the more solutions you can find, which means you are more intelligent, and the more time you have, that means you can produce more, that means you can have more value. Now intelligence is commoditized, so that means everyone has access to Einstein level IQ now, right?
Yeah.
time is the same because everybody has 24 hours in a day. So what is your differentiation? Your differentiation is to take a moment and quiet your mind, notice the environment around you, talk to more people, understand what the problems exist in the world, and then just use the technology to create those problem solutions for those problems. So quiet time and introspection becomes more important than actually working. And it is counterintuitive, but when I tried it, it actually was true that the less I worked, not it's not like I'm being lazy, like I'm just shifting the priorities from the actual doing, meaning like, the regular touch points with the team and, the minor details and all of those things, and just focus on what I am good at, what I enjoy doing, connecting with other people, going in nature, just noticing the world, how it is functioning, how it is changing, and then what kind of problems people are having.
So maybe ask this next question. All right. So what happened to you, Manuj, in March of 2020? All right. Where are you? Where were you? What happened when the world went virtual or went offline?
It's interesting. Actually, that is where the core of what I'm doing started because that was a huge shock. And I can be honest, I was disoriented. I was like, what is
Yeah.
going on? Like, I
Everybody
have
was
no
concerned.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I mean, almost like in ways it sounded like the end of the world is coming or something along like it was quite traumatic. And actually I started meditating even more deeply to truly just try to understand and get a grip on reality. And those are the times when OpenAI had just released the beta platform, and it was not chat
Mhm.
gpt, it was like, just like a very technical API that they had released, that you
Mhm.
can kind of like chat with it and create some meaningful text out of it. And being in AI, I was like, wow, like this is the next level of AI. And coincidentally, like all of these things came together. I remember the first time I started using this OpenAI API was around, I think, June, July of 2020 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, all this research started to come together. I started using it to connect with more people on LinkedIn and things of that nature. So that is what was happening. I was doing virtual meetings, and I know that this is what your like specialty is. I was doing like almost 10 virtual meetings every day
Yeah.
during those days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you find that more efficient? Like, I actually liked it. Some people didn't like it, but I liked it. I think as sometimes on the sales field, that you can do 10 to 18 calls a day when if you're driving, you're lucky to get three or four a day. So I'm just curious of your
Mhm.
own personal impressions. Did you love it, hate it, somewhere in the middle?
I think, people who are like yourself and me, who have spent a lot of time in the tech field, we are
Yeah.
used to remote work. I mean, I have been working remotely since 2020. So it was kind of like not a big deal. But at the same time, the environment around us was quite different because I was used to, virtual meetings and everything, but people who are coming on these meetings, they were not used to it. So it was like the world was kind of like reconfiguring itself
All right.
around this new environment.
Yes.
But overall, if you ask me, I was totally comfortable with the virtual aspect of the work.
Yeah, Manish, have you seen my studio? Right? Have you seen where I work at? That this
Oh,
this
no, no, no.
this is what's happening inside of here, right? This is what I developed over the
Wow.
last 5 years is like this, and these two computers are not on, but when they are on, I can actually have up to 17 screens, and this is my adaptation for the virtual world. Things that I can do as well. I'm actually running an AI prompt to try to achieve my goal to like listen to you and see if I can work the strategy, and this is a version of you. So. That leads me to this next question, right, Manoj, which is with you're in the tech space, you're in the AI space. What's the future? What's going to happen 5 to 10 years from now? Or what's on your wish list that you would like to see in that 10-year frame?
Well, it's a very uh, transformational time for entire species, but how things are going to play out, nobody can tell you. But I think there are few things I can say. I think in 10 years, driving by humans will be made illegal. Um,
Feels like a parent thing, doesn't
no,
it?
no, no. It's going to be actually a necessity because how many people do you know who can bring a horse cart on the highway today? So just like that has been made illegal, driving by humans will be made illegal. I think work will actually become optional. Um, I think employment to a single employer will be a thing of past. Um, I think medicine as we know it will change to a point where rather than buying any pharmaceutical at a pharmacy, uh, they will be custom drug made just for your own
Oh,
DNA.
yeah, very personalized, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, the world as we know it, I think the meaning of life and the meaning of work, those two things are going to change drastically.
Okay, what about some dark side, Manuj, right? You said you dealt with some sometimes mental health challenges, right? The tech world also has its dark side. I'm just curious. I'm sure you thought about it. I actually see some stats, right? There are some AI, who predicted AI could actually take over. There's a 5% chance that AI would take something over. What are some of the dark side possibilities that could occur? Most likely wouldn't occur, but could occur.
I mean, everything has a dark side, but not the technology. The technology doesn't have the dark side. The person using the technology has a dark side. So
Yeah.
if somebody, so this is what's going to happen in the short term. There's going to be a lot of pain. Okay, there's going to be a lot of unemployment, a lot of similar disorientation like we experienced in 2020.
Yeah.
So as that happens, people will start to use it for nefarious purposes, try to grab whatever they can in terms of resources to protect their future. And so these years will be full of unrest, in my opinion. And then slowly, as the GDPs of the nation start to rise because of automation and
Mm.
robotics and all of that, uh, then there will be enough resources to start talking about universal basic income and start
Mhm.
distributing those funds to people, and then people will start to feel some relief and they'll start to step back because taking over the world, imagine the root cause of taking over the world, that sense of ambition comes from the fact that we understand we have limited resources. Zero sum game, that has been the thing since the dawn of time. If I get something, then you have to lose something and vice versa. But if the resources are multiplied exponentially, meaning productivity is multiplied exponentially, there will be enough for everyone.
Yeah.
Now there may be some people, for them even that may not be enough and they want to grab everything, but on the good side there will be similar technologies. So the good and bad fight will never end, in my opinion. These
Mm.
technologies will just keep raising the bar, and bad guys will continue to do bad things and good guys will continue to do good things, and that battle will continue on.
Hmm. All right, I got a side question, right? I do a lot of work in Asian Pacific Islander advocacy work, and so I'm just kind of curious, right? I think you said you're from right in East India, and I'm third generation Chinese. My parents came from both Guangzhou and Beijing. I'm just curious how your Asian Pacific Islander roots has influenced you and your company and your philosophy on life.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, like I think in the West, we think, and this is not a knock on anyone, we think that science and technology is everything, and the knowledge that we have collected over like maybe 500 years is the sum total of all knowledge. But if you look at Eastern cultures, China, India, Japan, the knowledge goes back to tens of thousands of years,
Yeah, way
right?
back, right?
Exactly. And that has been tested for generations and generations and generations, much, much, much longer than I mean, even think about like in ancient texts, there is mention of nuclear fusion and the the how big the universe is and like a lot of like medical science is already in there. All so if you kind of like if you are a graduate student in a prestigious university and you say, oh, you know what, like all the schooling years, all the things that I learned, none of that matters. It's out of the window. I only focus on the graduate program. How stupid that will be, right?
Okay.
Uh, so, but if you truly want to incorporate, and with AI, it's actually possible. You don't need to like go and read all these ancient texts. You can just start to have some curiosity what existed before modern science existed, and it's all complementary. It's not a replacement for modern science. You can marry all these concepts together and get a much better solution for whatever problem you're working on.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, Manoj, we've come to this part of the interview. This is known as the speed part of the interview. While I've been interviewing you, I've been writing down questions, right? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions if you're okay with it, and your attempt is to answer it as fast as possible. And I will play some very funny noise after each one of them. Are you ready for this, Manoj?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. First question. Favorite meditation?
Six-phase meditation from Mind Valley.
Oh, there we go. Mind Valley. What did you learn from being laid off 4 times?
There is no security in life.
Yeah, except the security of what you know you can do, right? Your
Correct,
own security. That's
exactly.
that's one of my actually my past Microsoft manager. I'll give shout out to Hal Howard. You know, he never was afraid of being laid off or fired because he believed in himself, and that's actually useful. What do
Mhm.
you love about life?
Life itself.
Yeah. Okay, best AI tip.
Focus on your purpose.
Oh. Uh, a side note, if I asked your AI right now what your purpose was, what do you think it would say?
Well, my purpose is a little bit crazy. I want to use these technologies to help 20 people win the Nobel Prize. That is my purpose.
Oh, I did not hear that. I didn't see that on your website. Oh, all right. Let's see. So, uh, all right. Well, we'll get it. Well, you got to tell me when you get your first one. What is your favorite thing about Canada?
Uh, Nature, people.
Yeah, like your Vancouver Bridge, right? Something like that. Nanaimo.
No, I mean like we have the ocean, we have the mountains, we
Yeah,
have like it's beautiful here. So
everything's beautiful. All right, good. What do you miss about India?
food, my family, my friends.
There is a lot of good Indian food though in Vancouver. Okay, side note.
No,
So
not the same, not the
I
same.
know it's not the same. Okay, side note. I was doing this other part. Okay, this is a test. True or false? America is one of the most diverse countries in the world. True or false?
I think false.
Ah, very good, right? Because most people in America think it's true. We're in the middle. We're about 100 out of 200. The top 3 countries that are the most diverse, Uruguay, India, and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Mhm.
And the last thing, Manoj, if you could magically get people to remember one thing from this podcast, what would you like that one thing to be?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of good coming out, but there's going to be a lot of unrest coming out because of AI. But
Mm.
this is the chance to uplift yourself, uplift your families, communities for the long term. So please don't look into, the sensationalism or headlines. Really dive deep into this technology because I think this can really elevate a lot of people.
Excellent, Manuj. I make a joke about I wrote my book, right, in 2020, and I wrote 60,000 words in 9 weeks, Manuj, and there was no AI at the time, right? I called it JI, right? John Intelligence. I wrote all those words, and so this is still a very new and emerging technology in that way in terms of access to a large number of people. So I'll be curious to see what's going on, and hopefully you and I will get the chance to see each other either here in Vancouver or in Seattle, Manoj. Thanks again for being a
Absolutely, Ravi.
guest here on the
Thank you,
Engaging
thank you, thank
Virtual
you.
Meetings podcast. Thanks, Manoj.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Manoj came out there and says, go look at your purpose, right? Maybe have AI help you in your purpose. Either number one, discover. Manoj also said that what I feel like is the top number one consulting question I ask all the time. What do you want? And a lot of people cannot answer this question, all right? That's a question. If you're listening to this podcast, take the time. If you don't know the answer, be honest, number one, and say, I don't know the answer. And number two, explore what it really is. Like Manoj, okay, that's an aspirational goal. 20 Nobel Peace Prizes, that's really cool. Then things change based upon that goal. And I think that's the most interesting part. Whether you achieve the goal or not is often the goal will take you somewhere, right? That is different than if you just say, oh, I'm just going to live my life. Speaking of live my life, all right, I want to say thank you for all those people watching here on social media. Make sure and subscribe, share, like, and comment. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Go to the channel, youtube.com/, engaging virtual meetings, and subscribe. You could be my 1,000 subscribers. Something magical could happen to you. You want all the episodes, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. Every episode is there and uploading a new episode every Wednesday at noon. And if you want to learn how to be more engaging in the world as a speaker, as a manager, as a leader, come to the Engaging Retreat. We get 15 to 18 of the top experts in the world for a 3-day retreat. You get access to them if you're here in person. You can also go anywhere in the world and just click a button. And if you listen to my podcast, you can get a free virtual ticket. Just scan this QR code, register, and come and join us October 20, 21, and 22. Just about to release the speaker list, so watch for this next week and watch for that as the announcements are going to be great. I've been collecting top speakers all through the year. And if you want to be like Manuj, do us a favor, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet, select interview, and you could be the next guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. We'll see you next time. So we start people and people, show we have got heart. Now we're playing scoring, ready for the goal.